Okay, let's talk about calculating pre-delay and decay times for reverb. So a couple weeks ago, I was playing back some of my new mixes, and my friend Raghav said, "What's going on with your reverb? It sounds like it's washing all over everything, and you can't hear clarity in some of the instruments and your lead vocal. You know, if you fix the reverb, you'll be able to hear your vocal better without having to turn it up any louder." And I was like, okay, well, how do you do that? And he said, well, you have to calculate the pre-delay and the decay time so that it matches the tempo of the song. And I think I've heard of this before. I'm sure I've heard of this before. And I thought, okay, well, you know, back in the 80s, you know, studio nerds would do all this stuff, engineers. I don't know. I just never learned this. So it makes perfect sense to me now that I'm doing it. And there's these calculators online. You can just Google pre-delay calculator and they come up. There's a bunch of different websites. But last night I actually found one that's an app. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but it does the thing. It's like it's on my iPhone and it's also working on my Mac computer here. So I'm just going to bring it up on the screen. So this is the app, and for this particular song, my tempo is at 90. So I'm just going to recalculate for 90. You just type it in, and there it goes. I'm going to zoom in on this. So you can see that they have named, depending on the number of bars that we're using, different types of rooms. So cathedral is 8 bars, church is 4 bars, hall is 2 bars, and so on, based on the tempo. So all of these numbers, if you just type them into your reverb plugin, it should line up. I figured out that in trying different reverb plugins with this, some of them won't go as long as 8 bars, and at the opposite end, some of them won't go as short as a 16th note, but a lot of them will do at least the middle section. So today I'm going to be using Valhalla's VintageVerb, and it can do 8 bars. I just recorded a little piano thing with some drums and bass to go along with it. I set up 6 different reverbs at different lengths to correspond with the chart that I was just looking at here. So I've got a tiny room, a small room, a large room, a hall, a church, and a cathedral. So now if I play back, I can just go to each one of these separately and check it out. So this is the tiny room. Let's check out a small room. And next is a large room. Just for context, this is what the VintageVerb interface looks like. And the sections that I'm messing with are right here. So this pre-delay is where I've typed in, for this particular one, 41.67 milliseconds. And then the decay is 2.63. And also, I just want to show you something I found confusing at first. So this is the large room. So if we go to the large room, you can see that I've got 2.63 seconds decay here, but in milliseconds it's 2,625. So you just have to like move the decimal place over by 3 for any of these to get what it is in seconds. And so I can do it pretty quick now because I've been practicing, but at first I was like, oh, how do I do this? So this should be like a hall next. And the pre-delay is becoming more apparent now as the room gets bigger. You can really hear the gap between the initial impulse of the sound and then when the reverb comes in. So let's go to a church now. This should be even more. It's just gorgeous. Okay, here we go. This is the big one, cathedral. That sounds really neat. So, the danger of using, it's still going, it's still decaying. The 8-bar decay is, depending on the length of the part you're playing and the chords, once you get to the next chords, if you're still decaying from the previous chords, if they're not going to sound good overlapped, it's going to be a bit of a clash there from a harmony standpoint. But what I was thinking, what would be cool with this, because I've never even really tried to do anything like this before, where I've got all the different reverb set up, is I could try mixing something and then automate, depending on what part of the song it is and how long the section goes on a particular chord, use the different lengths of reverb appropriately. And so, for example, let's just play with the drums and the bass. So for this one, I really like the church for the first section, because there's a bit more repetition. It's quickly with the chords, and then later there's the big long spaces, and then that's where I can use the cathedral. So let's just see, for example. So that's just switching between the two, the church and the cathedral. And yeah, there's something just magic about that cathedral reverb. I don't know what's going on. It just sort of has this beautiful, it's kind of like modulating, I think is the word. And yeah, just wow. So yeah, I've got all sorts of ideas of what I can do with this now. If you've made it this far, now there's a bonus section of this video that's kind of related, so I'm just going to pull up another track. So now I just want to talk about what you can do with a delay that is a long delay on a lead vocal, for example, that you don't want it to interfere with the next line in the song as the first line is still delaying. And what you can do is put a compressor on the delay itself, like on the bus, that's sidechained to the lead vocal. And so I'm just going to show you here, for example, what it sounds like without it. So this is just, the vocal.
Green, green, green eyes, leave me occupied. Green, green, gold, soul uncontrolled.
Yeah, so you can sort of hear there that the delay is, interfering with the vocal in places. So here I've got, this is a UADX SSL G-bus compressor. I've got it sidechained to audio 2, which is the lead vocal itself. So it's kind of weird that the vocal's going into the delay and then through this bus, but then I'm also sidechaining the vocal itself back to the compressor on the same bus. But it makes sense, because this means that the lead vocal is then going to trigger the compressor to pull down the delay whenever the vocal is there, so that the delay can be long and going all over the place, but when the vocal's there, it's going to pull it out of the way. So the other thing is it gets me every time with this particular plugin. This SC sidechain has to be turned on, and so I was messing around for like 5 minutes a couple days ago, like I'm changing the settings and nothing is happening, and like what? But yeah, so as long as that's turned on, we're good. So now that it's turned on, you should be able to see it working here.
Green, green eyes, leave me occupied. Green, green, gold, soul uncontrolled.
So yeah, there you go. It's a simple concept. but worked really great in this particular song, or any song that you've got an effect that works like this. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment if you like this or if you think I'm crazy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.